Oh man, I opened up roll d20 and it went right to a 1. It's not a good start.
Do you always roll a couple times just to get it warmed up?
No, I just hit Google and I just Google it,
Oh,
hit
when you
go.
Google it, it automatically. I got you.
Yeah, it automatically rolls. It went right to 1.
You need
I
to
think
buy. You need to buy some dice. There's nothing better than the aesthetics of having to roll.
No, dude, Ranger Steve had like 5 dice I had to roll every single round for all the crap that I had attached, and it was so nice to click like
Steve.
Maybe
2 4s and a 1 and a 20 and a 6 and just roll
maybe
them all.
that's why you never felt connected to Ranger Steve.
I felt plenty connected. He just had limitations.
Yeah. I mean, just saying.
So, just straight off the top, we are gonna pick up right where we left off. We're gonna kind of forego the fun facts because this session will be.
Really? I mean, I figured I was fully expecting your fun facts to be famous comedians we had seen as like I really expected this to be a good one. I'm disappointed in you. I'm disappointed in you.
Don't worry, I'll bake it into what's gonna happen because this is you didn't let me finish it. It's gonna be more of a fireside chat kind of session, a little bit. Not you'll still have free reign of everything, but we'll get to the conclusion of the murder mystery, and then you'll obviously have some questions you want to ask some people, and maybe there's some new people that you need to meet. So, it'll be a great time to ask everybody. Maybe Tug has a burning question of who everyone's favorite comedian is, or, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But, yeah, we're gonna integrate fun facts into the session tonight, so we're just gonna jump straight in. But yes, last time we left off, you guys had come to the final conclusion. Does everybody want to, or does everybody remember what their final accusation was?
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll just start at the top through Discord then. So Josh, we'll just start it with you. Go to Mr. Green, Mr. Red, Mr. Yellow, or Miss Yellow, and then Tyrell. If you want to say what your accusation was, then we'll reveal what it was.
I'm pretty. It was Mr. Green with the elven rope in the library. Is what I guessed.
Mr. Pink, who is labeled as Mr. Green.
Oh, see, that's
What was your accusation?
who is the owner
Owner of what?
of the house? Or
The
who died or
Dion?
Sanders.
Dion?
yeah. So Dion hung himself with the elven rope in the library.
So Mr. Pink is not accusing Mr. Green, okay? Mr. Red?
Yeah, I had the Elven Rope library, but unfortunately I had the butler.
Butler was rather suspicious. Miss Yellow, what were your accusations?
I'll say. I have the same as Mr. Green Pink.
Green Pink. And then Mr. White or Tyrell.
I would like to point out that I was the first to accuse Mr. Green with the elven rope in the light.
Okay. Well, I just sent across Discord the autopsy report. I will sort of read it aloud for the people that are in stream, or just for you guys if you want to follow along. So the name of the
Vision
victim.
impaired, that's the proper term.
The vision impaired, yes. Well, it's not on the stream, so that's the vision impaired. You can't see it. But I'll read it for you guys as well if it is too small for you. So Archduke Dionysius Nicanthes Arbitritis the 13th, otherwise known as Dion, age 79, Male, human, 6'2", 180 pounds, gray eyes, white-gray hair, and a mustache. Estimated time of death is 7 p.m. Birthplace, Nicanthes. Location of body, the Nicanthes Arbitritis Library. Probable cause of death, asphyxiation by strangulation. The victim was found hung with an elven rope in the Nicanthes Arbitritis Library. The rope was thrown over the candelabra hanging from the rafters and tied to the base of a stone column. A small stool was found overturned beneath the hanging body. Bruises and abrasions from the rope were found on the pale skin around the neck. 2 open books were still by the burning candle on the table. The book's contents involved the history of the Nicanthes lighthouse and a bestiary on succubi. Within the fine pale yellow garments that he was wearing are sealed envelopes addressed to the following persons: Mr. Red, Miss Blue, Miss Yellow, Mr. White, Mr. Pink, and Mr. Black. All of the jewelry, most importantly the family signet ring, were undisturbed, and there are no signs of a struggle on the cadaver. You guys are presumably in this room now. If you would like to look around in the library and see if you can discover anything else, you may investigate
Okay, yeah.
further.
Does the stool look like it has dirt or mud or?
No, you have not noticed a speck of dirt or mud in this entire cathedral. There's very immaculately kept. The butler and the staff do a good job of keeping it clean. The stool is red, like padding on the top, and just sort of these gold ornate legs on the bottom. On the Archduke's feet are actually like house slippers, like very fancy yellow house slippers.
Yeah, did they? I guess I forgot. Were we required to take our shoes off when we entered?
You were not, no.
Can I hand the envelopes out to everybody?
You can. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. There was Mr. Red gets an envelope, Miss Blue gets an envelope, Miss Yellow, Mr. White, Mr. Pink, and Mr. Black. You notice there is no note for Mr. Green.
Okay.
Can I look at the succubus thing and the lighthouse? What'd you say?
Yes,
A
there's
book on the lighthouse.
a book on a lighthouse and a book on succubi. So the
Not an album. Life.
no, just a lighthouse. Yeah, not the movie Lighthouse, but it is a lighthouse. Similar, I guess, to that one. Not really.
I
But-
was thinking more of like hanging by a moment with you.
But yes,
Are
looking
there-
at the succubus book about succubi, it seems to just be a bestiary. I'll send you the page out of that book on succubi. It's just known things about the succubi. You could tell that he was, or make the connection that he was studying the succubi that is loose in the city that the nobles are hunting for. There's little sketches on a piece of paper beside of like little symbols and sigils, but they appear to just be handwritten little doodles. None of those sigils or symbols appear to be contained within the book. And the whole book is not just about succubi. There's a big, large portion of it, but it is just one of many creatures within it. Mr. Red, you said you were going to look at something?
Oh yeah. Are there any books or records here on pirates, specifically those that might be called buccaneers? I'm looking for vaccination statuses of all their employees.
There's
one of them I had records on. He seems to have misrepresented his vaccination status, so I'm seeing if it's here. Before this Sunday.
Oh yes. So there's a book called Treasure Island, but as far as a group of pirates, a band of criminals known as the Buccaneers, and their whereabouts or status, no, there's There's nothing leading into them.
Unfortunately, okay.
I've obviously missed some news with having a job. What's going on?
Robert Louis Stevenson.
I believe
was
that
the
employee.
author.
I believe that employee might have hurt their ankle and is out multiple weeks.
Anyways. Is that what you call pirates? Are they employees?
So Josh, treat this as the page that's in the book. That's the one that it was open to.
Okay. What about the Lighthouse book?
So the book about the lighthouse is all contained about the history of the lighthouse. Back early when Nicanthes was more of a port town, the lighthouse was a much more prominent sort of thing. It was a functioning lighthouse. The book goes on to explain that later on it became dilapidated and unusable because the coastal sort of imports were less of a thing. I don't know what the hell kind of fish thing is in Discord right now, but it's very distracting.
It's really disturbing. I had to scroll away.
I can't scroll away because it's there's not enough stuff in chat yet.
That was the obvious choice when you suck.
It was very disturbing. I was trying to finish my dinner. It just
there, it's gone. But where was I? The lighthouse. Yes. So.
You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna ban you.
Ban you. I'm off. Go
All right. I'm also not looking.
Is the stream up? Because I can't find it.
No, there's not a stream up right now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's you guys' fault. You didn't tell me.
Can I check out the
I didn't know it was
ring?
ready. Oh.
Can you check out what? Sorry.
His ring.
Yes. So the ring has it's all one sort of cast material, just sort of made of iron. It is on the very top of it, the Nicanthes arbitritis flower. But there's not any like jewels. There's no. It's not what you would expect. It's not a fancy ring. This is a very simple, very clean, but obviously well-crafted ring.
Well, would you say it's simple and clean?
Both, yes.
What, like Planet B remix? Sorry.
I don't know Planet B, actually. Who's in Planet B?
I don't know. That's the official Kingdom Hearts theme song from the original.
Does there appear to be a suicide note anywhere?
There is no suicide note anywhere near the table or anything like that.
Is it in the bear's mouth?
The bear's
you
mouth.
look down into the bear's mouth and there's nothing but, some teeth and your typical taxidermy bear mouth, yeah.
Ooh, hey, I see I'm gonna say a goblet. That's probably the incorrect term.
Yeah.
On the table.
Mm-hmm.
What is that full of? Like, it looks very red.
Blackberry wine.
Does it smell the same as the vase container next to it? Do we?
Yeah, you can uncork it and you smell, and it just smells like blackberry wine. Was that a gasp earlier from Mrs. Yellow? Is that what I heard?
That was Mr. Pink.
Oh, okay. So I know Miss Yellow has a
guess
certain.
No man.
I thought you had a certain affinity for wine. Is all I was saying.
I guess I'll let the lord of the house. I'll let him down. Bring him down from the rafters, hanging there.
Sure. How do you do it? Do you untie it at the base of the stone column, or do you cut it?
I'm just gonna cut it. He's just gonna fall.
All right. He thumps right onto the bear rug. The butler kind of gasps a little bit and then turns away. He's sort of like gathering himself in the doorway. Is the scroll to the left? What'd you say?
Did we open that?
The scroll to the left is the notes that he was scribbling with like the sigils and things. It's just an extension of that.
Oh, I was gonna hold it over the candlelight.
You can if you want.
It doesn't sound like it's gonna be very productive, so let's move on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go touch. I'm gonna go search around the room for like a hidden. If there's any sort of like hidden areas or something like that in the room.
Sure.
And while he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and hold it over the candlelight.
So, Mr. Pink, while you hold this thing over the candlelight, you notice that maybe the candelabra behind it is looking a little suspect. Like it doesn't look like the other candelabras. So while there's nothing on the piece of paper that's noticing your attention, getting your attention, this candelabra looks like it's been pulled on before.
Just gonna go ahead and pull it.
All right, it unhinges from the wall, and you've just ripped out the candelabra. It appears as if it was just a loose screw in the concrete wall. So you now have a candelabra in your hand with a lit candle.
Okay, I want to blow the candle out and set it down like nobody saw it.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a stealth check for that.
Jeez. Well.
Everyone in the room saw you do that, but
when checks start with well.
The only one who would have cared or noticed is the one gathering himself in the doorway. So he didn't see you do it, but that's probably going to be something.
If everyone saw me, I'm gonna scoot it with my foot, as if no one saw it anyway.
Sure. Yeah, you sort of slide it under the table, or you can slide it under the rug or whatever. It's totally up to you.
Mr. Butler, what can you tell me about this ring?
Well, the Archduke's signet is the Nicanthes arbitritis flower. It is the nightshade.
I would have expected him to have some sort of gold ornate ring, not something this simple.
Dion was never one for much fancy, and that ring was handed down through generations. It is not always the most beautiful, ornate things that are sentimental, but sometimes the most enduring or simple that make it this far.
Mm. And why would he choose to hang himself in the library?
I don't rightfully know.
Wait.
Not willing to believe that he would do that. He never showed signs of suicidal thoughts or...
Then who do you think did it? We don't have Mr. Green with us.
Mr. Green is my suspect, and I will be sending out an inquiry through the Keepers of Justice to find and interrogate this Mr. Green.
What was the research that he was doing on the succubus? There's a chance that the succubus did this. She could easily come and gone without anybody knowing.
Well, is there a circle of flowers and gold?
Where would you find such a thing? Flowers and gold?
You might find such thing near his bedchambers. Can you lead us there?
I can definitely lead you to his bedchambers.
But yeah, that's if he was trying to contact her. If she was wanting to just show up, she could do it herself.
That might be true. I don't know the entire history of a succubus.
Did Dion have crossways with anybody? Did anything go south? Did he look extra stressed out recently, where he just needed to get away from his situation?
Why, no. He was a recluse. He never stepped foot out in Nicanthes, the city. He stayed here.
I think we need to go to the lighthouse. The clues we got here is there's no reason for him to kill himself, so someone got in here that couldn't have done it in a normal way. He was researching the succubus and the lighthouse. I say we go to the lighthouse for no other reason than
there were a great many things that Dion did in this segment of the house. In this great cathedral, and all of these wonderful rooms, he always found himself on this floor, between all these rooms. We may find more things across the rooms that may lead us to, potentially, why this happened.
Oh my god.
What'd you find, Tyrell?
I've been reading the succubus information.
What did you find?
I'm glad I gave that to you.
He was glancing.
You never
over your
said you
shoulder.
took the book. You just said that you.
Oh, wait, did you just
while
say
y'all are
Tyrell?
talking, I'm reading up. It was provided to us.
That was very key. Somebody just used the word Tyrell.
It would be-
Tyrell is that?
It would be the first time you read the fucking instructions. What?
Well, don't stop him. What did
please,
he find?
Spill the beans here.
Well, one of the things the succubus can do is a bit concerning. It only cost 5 gold to learn more. Now, clickbait. There's an action called charm. An action, mind you, not like a spell or anything. An action called charm, in which the succubus can choose one humanoid creature within 30 feet, and it has to succeed a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw, else it's magically charmed for 1 entire day. Kind of rough. And has to basically that means they have to obey every kind of verbal or even telepathic command. A bit rough.
Are you saying that someone would do that to this Mr. Green character?
Oh, well, even our Mr. Deceased Dion here, potentially.
I knew all of the comings and goings in this cathedral. You accuse the Archduke of lying with this succubus?
Well, I don't know if he had a choice. It sounds like if he, didn't roll so well, he may have just, yeah. I mean, even it's specifically laid out here that if the target suffers any harm or receives a suicidal command, I'm reading this verbatim now, it can repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on a success. Essentially...
that sounds like complicated magic.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Butler, I still don't understand why you had us run around this whole castle when you knew perfectly well that you found the body here. Why didn't you just point us here immediately? We would have known what the instrument of death would have been, and...
Any good detective knows that if you are to make assumptions, you would eliminate certain possibilities of finding new information.
But finding fresh information is the best information. Such as, Dion being hanged in this room.
You could have investigated these books as you studied the rooms, but you chose not to until now.
I don't know if that was part of the rules include.
It's not. I know we were just playing Clue. I was just giving Butler a hard time.
Okay, can I ask an interesting question, but to the game master?
Sure.
And this is like in my head. My head.
What? Okay.
It's a question that's not from me at all. It's from the audience. They want to know.
Sure, go on.
Yeah, definitely. Can I tell if the butler has an Adam's apple?
An Adam's apple? Give me an investigation check.
That sounds like a very in-game check. I don't know why you would have to ask outside the game.
Investigation.
So you can see he's kind of wearing a ascot, like a white frilly sort of like scarf. So it's concealed a little bit, but
really, very interesting.
He thinks the succubus is the butler.
I haven't said anything out loud, huh?
That's why I'm
We'll
having
just
you
say it
roll
out loud.
investigation.
Why are you rolling investigation?
I'm trying to find my bonus. I'm sorry, give me a
That bad, huh?
investigate. Oh shoot, what does investigation fall under?
Investigation
Probably wisdom or intelligence.
Yeah, which one?
Strength.
is intelligence.
Ooh, then I have not natural, but 20.
Okay. You can see he has an Adam's apple.
I don't think it matters in this day and age. I'm gonna continue.
Looking at the book, you realize there can be male and female succubi, and succubi are not exclusively limited to the opposite sex. Succubi are not even actually, they are its own species, right? So they appeal to all species. That is their charm. That is their ability. Is their
It's just like a nice hot goth wing chick on the page of it, so I just didn't.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Tunnel vision.
Mr. Black, what restroom were you blowing up before all this madness started?
the one in the kitchen.
Ah, well, let's all go and check this bathroom.
Okay,
Why
now
would
we're
you-
playing Clue the movie. Let's all run. Yeah.
Okay, we all run
You
over.
can do the tornado. If
Yes,
you want.
yes. We're just gonna use Mr. Black. So, outside the kitchen, in the hallway where the window is, there is a outhouse, just a hole in the floor, like nice little booth seat, much like Game of Thrones, where you see
Don't ruin
Tywin.
it.
And
Tywin.
Don't ruin
has
it.
any
I didn't ruin anything.
any
I said where you
toilet-
see Tywin.
has any toilet? Does it look like the toilet paper still has like the little fold on it that the housekeeping would leave, or does it look like it's been used?
So these are all like folded,
Towels.
completely safe and disposable wipes that definitely don't ever clog any of the plumbing. It says right on the packaging that it's safe to flush.
And does it look like it's been opened, or is it in presentation mode, or does it look like, hey, somebody already used a couple wipes of these?
It does look like it has been used. Like the stack isn't perfectly angled on the bench.
Okay.
Does it stink?
When you lean down over it, you definitely get a smell. But this is like a shaft that just goes straight to the basement of the
Right. That's
yeah.
probably expected to stink.
And it goes way down there. I mean, you guys walked up a few flights of stairs to get up to this portion of the cathedral.
Is anyone
And
aroused?
Aroused by what?
I don't know. There's just something in the air.
You're not in the sex dungeon. You're in the restroom.
I'm new. Mr. Pink's new to this group. I just want to look around to see if anybody else is like shocked by that statement.
With everyone's masks, it's kind of hard to tell if they're shocked or not, but you can tell there's a weird silence that's in the air, kind of like, what?
and does Mr. Black's clothing indicate that maybe he's climbed up this poop chute?
No, he is immaculate, like head to toe.
Okay.
There's not a speck of dust on him. He is wearing all black. You can see on the inside, though, there's a reflective yellow gold pattern on the inlay of his jackets.
Okay. And is there any dirt on this chamber floor?
There is no dirt anywhere.
Okay.
You guys can roll investigation check to see if you find any footprints or anything potentially, or like there is a window behind the. Go ahead, Detective Easter, and give me a roll. I know you're passive, but just go ahead and give me a D20 roll.
And this is what modifier?
Perception is a wisdom one.
Okay, so I'm doing a perception modifier. I get a total of 16
All right. So
on a roll.
you check the window. The window's been locked from the inside. There's no tampering with it that you can see. The painting to the right of the wall is of a beautiful garden, presumably one of the ones outside. And then, there's no perceivable footprints or anything. Nothing has been disturbed here. You could tell someone has fairly recently used it, but that's about it.
What were they making us in the kitchen? Is that ready?
So everything was actually already set in the dining room.
Oh.
So there
perfect.
is still food in the dining room if anyone would like to partake.
Yeah, I'm gonna go investigate that food a little bit.
Let's all go.
Okay. After everybody went to the bathroom and poked around in a dirty environment, they're gonna go
Did
eat.
we wash our hands? and
That's up to
everything?
you guys. I didn't.
Yeah, no, I'm probably just gonna go and chow down a little bit.
All right. So everybody,
There's no use investigating on an empty stomach.
Mr. Black says, "I can agree wholly. I concur wholly. Yeah, this pie looks delectable." He sort of goes over and just takes the whole pie to himself with a fork.
Wait, who is that?
I'm looking straight
Mr.
for
Black.
meat. Where's this meat at? And I'm just.
There's lots of
shove them out of
choices
my
for
face.
meat. There's turkey, there's pork, there's some meat pies, fair amount of
Give me
vegetables.
I'm gonna take that turkey. I'm gonna start going hard on that turkey.
You got it. Turkey's yours.
Yeah. I've kind of lost all my senses right now. I'm just eating.
Are we discovering a weakness of Detective Easter?
That's up to everyone else to figure out, I guess.
Yeah, I say out loud that I don't really feel hungry, but I'll hang out. But my face probably says otherwise because I'm very concerned that there's something wrong with this food.
There's definitely plenty of drink around too.
I'll pick up a goblet of wine and kind of step away from the table. Like, we just found someone dead. And what's going on?
I'm trying to lick these bones clean. I'm just guzzling it down with some wine.
You have disturbingly almost finished the entire chicken already.
I would like to change my accusation.
Of who?
Well, then the body would be gone. Probably.
Was the body eaten?
No.
Did we see any nibbles?
No nibbles on the body. It was completely untouched. The only abrasions or bruises were around the neck where the rope was. So you see Mr. Black sort of nonchalantly joke and say, "Mr. Red, please, when you're finished with that chicken, I know my attire is dressed as a bird, but try to keep your hands off of me. You have quite an impressive appetite."
I'm gonna throw a bone at him and take a piece of that pig.
Very good, very good. Quite the appetite, this one. How do all of you know each other? What brought you to this manor this night?
Do we know anybody here? I was brought here for the food. I was told to come alone.
So, Mr. Red obviously came for the food. I had my reasons for coming here, but I was curious about all of you. I heard one of you mention the other by name. Do you know each other? I was under the assumption that no one knew one another until just a moment ago.
Like a literal line from the movie. Yeah, why do you think you know me?
I don't think I know you. I think you know each other.
The person who called me by a name.
Speaking to Mr. Blue, probably.
Yeah.
Or was it Mr. Blue or Mr. Red?
Mrs. Blue.
I honestly have a hard time keeping track of these ridiculous colors. And he takes off his mask. He says, "My name's Nick, NYC."
I want to shock when he takes his mask off.
Okay.
He says, "I know my looks are dashing, but please hold your gasps."
Is it a human or what are we looking at here?
He's just a jet black hair, pale skinned human male.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna Detective Easter's gonna hop out of the Kool-Aid costume.
Are you in all of your typical attire as a detective?
Yeah, I'm in my normal outfit that I have on. I'm not wearing my big cloak that I would throw over to try to conceal at this time,
Gotcha.
because I had on the Kool-Aid outfit, which is very incognito wherever you would go.
He sort of snaps his fingers and say, "The appetite makes sense now. You Dragonborn have a legendary appetite."
I ignore this and just keep eating.
I just imagine you
I'm gonna eat until I'm full. So.
I imagine you like Goku right now, just like.
Oh, and it's just messy. I'm making a mess everywhere. There was food inside of my costume. It was gross.
You've moved to the other side of the table now to get a better handle on, all the food. So the rest of you, Mr. Red, do you have a name? Or should I just call you Foodie? Foodie for now. As the rest of you, I don't feel obligated to remove your masks, but mine was dreadfully uncomfortable.
Mine's pretty nice. I asked for a pretty nice mask.
Just to clear the air and let you know what I was doing here, Dion was my father. I am
What?
Archduke Arbitritis Nicanthes the 14th.
And why did you kill him?
Kill my father? Well, I had no warm feelings towards my father. I did not kill him.
Hmm.
Very good answer.
Hmm.
Is it not sufficient?
This feels like a really good cliffhanger moment, but we're pretty early in the night, so yeah. What do we do now?
Please ask me more.
Well, you don't seem very sad about this.
You're correct. I'm not sad about his death. This means I inherit all of this manor that was denied me until tonight, actually. Mr.
Are you
Pink,
sure about that?
you and I, we're going to install that bidet. I guarantee you.
I mean, it'll change your life, bud. I looked at that thing down the hallway. It was just a deep, dark hole, just a poop chute.
Exactly. Not welcoming or anything. My father had such poor taste in his bathroom decor.
I mean, I've seen some welcoming poop shoots. I'm just saying, like.
You seem to have quite the fascination with feces. My friend, would you care to elaborate on this fascination? It is quite perplexing to me.
I think you're fascinating.
Well, thank you. I am
Wanna look
a
like
worldly
Mike?
traveler. I have seen many things, learned many things, traveled all over the world, received training from some of the most skilled people across a number of different professions. I am a bit of a vagabond. That's why I was surprised when my father reached out for the first time in his life with a letter saying that he had important news to disclose with me. And lo and behold, here I am, and he's dead.
When you
I
say
believe
we
your
saw
father
this
was sharing his will with all of us, and that's why we were here.
one- Yes, you know that.
Oh, well, how did you know, Dion?
Oh, Manor. Oh, well, we didn't really know him till tonight. We just thought he wanted to, share some
mean
of his
we?
food.
Why would my father split his will with people he never met?
I believe I heard that in an old fairy song about a guy at a bar. And, he met this guy who just didn't like his kids very much and wanted to leave his inheritance to somebody else. That guy was a millionaire.
Well, that I actually believe. That is exactly the kind of thing my father would do. Bring me here on a promise of granting me all of this manor, only to give it to all of you instead. That actually rings true. That sounds pretty likely.
Well, I will toast to that. And I hold up the goblet.
He sort of looks at you and says, "Quite the jester, you."
Mr. Black, are you? I apologize. I forgot your
Nick,
name.
NYC.
Nick. Such a difficult name to remember.
Think of it like Nicanthes. NYC, Nicanthes. My father took Dion from...
Oh, I thought it was my panties. I'm very okay. Okay. That I think I can remember.
Excuse me, did you just say my panties? Are you Tyrell? One of the heroes of Nacantes?
That's the second time I've heard that name, Tyrell.
It must be him. I've never heard anybody else call the city my panties before, except for the Zoo Warriors. Which means if someone recognized you, they might also be a Zoo Warrior. Miss Blue, are you a Zoo Warrior as well, a hero of Nicantes?
Miss Blue's the one interested in feces, right?
I'm definitely a hero, but not of the Electric Zoo Warriors.
Oh, you know them as the Electric Zoo Warriors. There are only a few that would have known them by that name. You must be one of the Zoo Warriors. Let's see, who could possibly be Miss Blue? Ranger Steve, is that you?
I've just followed their career for a long time.
Mr. Red, do you happen to be a detective?
I have taking off everything here, and you guys have seen who I am. I am Detective Easter. I was assigned to follow around the zoo warriors, and I fought in the great battle that recently took place.
Condolences for being confined to such a rigid justice system. Does it weigh on you at night when you sleep that you work for such monsters?
I sleep pretty peacefully.
That's great.
That's the
Hey,
same
Nick.
answer I get from most of your kind.
Hey, Nick. I'm wondering, with the comment you made earlier about you're kind of a flip of a coin where you didn't believe, you said your father never sent you a message to come to his humble abode, and now you've also been told about the fortune and of the with his death, of course, ensuing, meaning fortune left to you, and now the rumbling of all these strangers in front of you also potentially sharing that or taking it. Do you believe the letter actually was written or even sent by your own padre?
Damn. I had not considered that.
I mean, was he
Do
shocked
you
when
still
he
have
showed
the
up?
letter?
I have the letter that Mr. Red handed me earlier. I have yet to open it.
We should take a look. Do you remember his handwriting?
He's never written me a letter before. I can't say I know what it looks like. The butler would know better than anything.
Ah, there we go.
And he sort of hands the letter to the butler, and the butler looks at Mr. Black to see if he has permission to open it. And Mr. Black says, "By all means, I don't." So the butler breaks the wax seal, opens up the letter, and he sort of skims through it, and he says, It is your father's handwriting. It merely says that he wishes to discuss a urgent matter with you and request your presence. There's no talk of a will or any sort of acquiring of family goods, or just that he needs your company. He needs your attention. It is his handwriting, and he has his signet ring embellished on the wax at the bottom of this letter.
Mr. Butler,
Yes.
in the recent, I don't know, days, maybe weeks, had you noticed any changes in mood or actions, anything odd about said Dion?
Why, no, not at all. Dion never even left the manor.
Ever?
No, I'm saying within the last 2 weeks, Dion has never left this manor.
But is that odd?
Why, no. As I said before, he's quite the recluse, spending most of his time on this floor and in all of the mansion. He does have his observatory, so he has a good eye on the city, all while remaining completely removed from it.
At the observatory!
If you would
Let's
like
go.
to. All right. Everybody's going to the observatory. Ah! Uh-oh. He's gone. Where'd he go?
He's with Mr. Green now.
Wee! Wee!
You all go on ahead of me. I'm stopping by the laboratory.
The bathroom or a laboratory?
Either way, you can go in either room. It's fine. They'll clean it up.
Did you take any of the food with you, Mr. Red?
I was full. I ate a lot. At least a good quarter of that table.
All right. So you step in and immediately are met with just papers coating the floor. Like, you can barely see the floor underneath the scattered papers in this room. Tons of open books. There's a comedically large magnifying telescope that is sticking out of one of the windows and is pointed at Nicanthes.
Can I look through to see if it's looking into a particular person's window?
Yeah, so you see that the telescope is pointed at... Hang on, I have the name of the place here. I'm just gonna find it. Where are you? I have too many notes.
Mrs. Smith, the widowed elf.
You're correct. It is that Lampranthus. That's what it was. So yes, Queen Lillian Lampranthis's manor.
Oh, interesting. It's observing Queen Lillian's place. I know that one of the zoo warriors was very interested in Queen Lillian.
You say queen. Is she single?
She's spoken for.
Oh, and Mrs. Blue would know this?
I believe I now know the identity of Miss Blue, Madame Blib du Pull-Up, zoo warrior hero of Nicantes.
Something tells me the individual with a fascination for shit probably isn't going to land the princess's hand.
You are the only one fascinated with shit. You keep bringing it up.
I was not the one that spoke and said, "Do you smell something heavenly?" while we were floating over my defecation.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about, personally.
My friend, you crack me up.
You have brought up shit probably more times than any person should in a conversation.
It's a naturally bodily function.
Oh, now you're defending yourself.
Hey, can we knock this shit off? We have a case here.
Please. I just merely am interested as what connection this individual has with a queen.
I am a queen.
This is Madame Blib du Pull-Up.
Oh, and you're a queen too.
I'm a god.
The god of shit. I see.
I'm just gonna go pout.
So
yes, that must be her.
Friends, does your shitty god have a name?
I told you her name is Madame Blib du Pull-Up. She also goes by Tug.
Tug. Well, the jokes just keep coming. But I refrain. I will calm myself.
Well, you'll have to ask Tyrell about her. Tyrell knows more than I do. Has traveled with her for many moons.
But you, Detective Easter, you could tell me about this Queen Lampranthus. She is single, judging by the reaction of your cohort there.
Yes, she is. Apparently, the rumor is that no one has suited her needs. There have been many people who have tried over the years to be the right match, but none of them have succeeded.
Think this Lampranthus lady has any ties to our succubus?
Yeah, that's a rumor we keep hearing. We keep investigating.
So there is talk
about
that.
A succubus? That is a rumor that's around town. You're not finding any information from me that you wouldn't find on the streets.
So everything on all of these notes and pages appear to be chicken scratch, just like his most frantic, scrambled, just like handwriting. It's hard, even like the butler, you can see he's trying to read the pages and make out what they say. The only legible things here are the books, and they just all appear to be more bestiaries and histories of the city themselves.
Is there any part of it that's not like he's trying to write something but looks like it might connect into a pattern? Like if you put a bunch of pieces of paper together, it might make a word or a symbol?
They, like you're saying, across the pages that there's one thing that is kind of the
like
same.
If you put them in the right order or something like that, it might make a picture or might say something. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. They're all just pretty frantic notes. There's no thing that's unifying them aside from the fact that they are all frantic notes.
Quick, look at your shoulders, and I'll look at it from above.
I lift up Madame Blib du Pull-Up.
All right. You
what
lift
do
up. So you... Oh, I hit my Windows key. You are lifted up on top of Detective Easter, and you look around the room, and it is a dimly lit room, but you... Yeah, give me, let's see. Give me an investigation check, an intelligence roll.
Hey, if somebody gets on Tyrell's shoulders, we can play a game of chicken.
Oh, I'm Skins.
I'm Skins.
15.
All right, you don't notice anything unusual. You notice that the drinks in here are not blackberry wine, though, and that they are some sort of beer, some sort of ale instead. And are we going to do a chicken fight, or was that just all talk?
I was waiting to see if anybody else would challenge us.
I understand your intimidation.
Mr. Green, Mr. Pink, Miss Yellow, or Mr. Yellow, Miss White, Mr. White, whichever one you are. Butler.
I'm all for this. I'll throw down money.
Typically, I don't want to back down a competition, but I'm so confused of what's happening here. We're investigating murder.
Pretty simple, Mr. Pink. There's money on the table. Good money, mind you. And he sort of pulls some out of his pocket, and he waves clinks the gold around in his hand. He says, I got 5 gold on whoever teams up with Mr. Detective Easter here.
That's a lot of money.
Wait, I'm teamed up with Detective Easter. I get the 5.
Hop on up.
Oh, okay. Well, Miss Yellow over there said she was Skins too, and you said you were Skins, so I didn't know if there was going to be a fight about who was Skins or who wasn't Skins.
Miss Yellow tends to say things, and we just ignore her. She's not really, important.
That is so rude.
Damn, smack talk. This is getting interesting.
I'll burn you all.
Miss Yellow gonna burn y'all.
He's still.
Miss Yellow, you should defend your honor in a game of chicken.
I'm going to open up the first Red Lobster. Guess what's on the menu?
I like it. I like it.
Please tell me what would be on your menu at your restaurant.
False gods.
Oh.
Oh.
Damn, Miss Yellow needs a teammate.
Nothing to worry about.
I mean, my money's... I already dropped it down on Detective Easter and Mrs. Blue here. I would join Mrs. Yellow. This smack talk is amazing. Butler, you get over there and you do that. I can order you to do that, right? I'm afraid not, sir. Mr. Pink, Mr. White, please, I'm begging you. I have seen many things in my travels, but I have yet to see a chicken fight between a weird, shit-interested lobster lady on top of a dragonborn fighting a golden, yellow angel lady.
A dude nose goes.
Mr. White, looks like it's you. Are you top or bottom?
Pretty personal.
Am I a tiebreaker?
You didn't nose goes.
No, you defaulted.
That's the unspoken rule of all of Morningstar across all of Paludaria is nose goes.
I see.
So as I said, are you top or bottom? Miss Yellow, maybe you'd like to take charge?
I always take charge. On top.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. White, you're on bottom. Mrs. Yellow, you're on top. Ms. Blue, you're on top. Mr. Red, Detective Easter, you are on bottom. How this will go is the bottom will roll a strength roll. The top will roll a grappling check. The higher of the strength rolls, in combination with the grappling check, will determine the first round winner.
Is this strength roll considered an attacking roll?
The strength roll is natural strength, so you are just holding on for dear life to keep the person above you on your shoulders. The people on your shoulders are going to try and knock those people off. So it's going to be a strength check versus strength check, in addition to a grapple versus a grapple check. With grapple,
I got a 17.
Mr. White.
Do I get to add anything?
Any strength
Your
modifier
strength
that you have.
Oh, don't tell me.
And -2.
It is. I have a -2 modifier. That's gonna
What
be
do
a
you think the
6.
strength is gonna be?
Okay, so Mrs. Blue, what's your roll for your grapple check?
Oh, but my roll is just a wee 24.
And then Mrs. Yellow.
14.
All right, so first round, I'll let you guys, the winning side, describe what the first round win goes to, or how it broke down.
How did you roll a 24?
Claw of Blibdo pull up, bitch.
Is it like a +8 or something?
Damn straight.
Do you guys want me to describe your
Anyways,
first round victory, or you want
please,
me to?
Please describe for us.
Okay, so yes, just straight up, like you run full charge into the table. The table like slams out of the way. You can see the ale get spilled onto the ground and some of the notes, and you just run both Mr. White and Mrs. Yellow into the bookcase, and they sort of stagger, and Mr. White goes to one knee. But that's just the first round, so he stands up again, and Mr. Black says, "Mr. Pink, you getting in on any of these bets? I got 5 gold on Tundrak over there."
Well, I mean,
How
just
dare you ruin these books?
just look at him. You got chicken legs on the bottom underneath, Wonder Woman.
Hey,
versus
but you could stand to vote for the underdog, right? What happens if they win? What if they get crafty or something?
No, I mean, you guys all seem like you know each other. It's just weird.
I mean, do you want to get in on this? I'll make the butler get on your shoulders. We'll do a 3-way chicken fight.
I just heard the butler say he ain't gonna do that.
I can make him do it. I'm very charismatic, okay?
I have never turned down a 3-way.
It sounds like Mrs. Blue's in on it.
I'm just gonna look around again, like, what is happening? You said something weird again, like.
Mr. Black comes over and like puts his hands on your shoulders. He says, "This is the greatest night of my life. My father is dead. I'm inheriting his mansion, his cathedral, and there are people chicken fighting in an observatory." He says, "Do you not realize what is happening right now? This is a story for the ages. Please allow my butler to get on your shoulders and have a 3-way chicken fight on the eve of my father's death."
Mr. Pink's just a little pink about getting playing some chicken. He seems a little bit too chicken.
Mr. Black says, "I will give you 5 gold to put the butler on your shoulders and join this chicken fight." He points.
They're gonna goad me into this, all right? I've seen some pretty cool shit in my travels, and this is not one of them. This is just super weird.
He says, "My friend, you are a buzzkill." But very well. Very well. We will commence the second round.
We do. I'm gonna start a sneak attack here if everyone's not ready.
All right.
I got a 13.
You're just gonna try and attack the other chicken.
I'm just
again?
going right now. While well, I still have a blip do pull up on my shoulder, so I'm moving forward.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a 13.
13. Yeah. We'll say that you get advantage roll in this next one.
Oh, okay.
But
13 again.
It's not going to be a strength and a dexterity check this time.
Oh, okay. What is it?
It's going to be an athletics.
Oh.
And
it's an athletics check.
A
much better
acrobatics check.
I got a 17.
So the acrobatics check will be done by the person on top, which is a dexterity roll. And the athletics, which is a strength, will be done by the person on the bottom
So I got a total of 17 with that.
for the strength roll.
Yeah, because I have a +4 for athletics.
Boom! 22.
For dexterity?
Yeah, I have a +2 on dexterity.
What'd you roll on
Rolled
your
a nat
D20?
20.
No, I'm sorry, 21. Not 22, 21. I have a +2. Not +3.
So you rolled it. Okay.
19.
Opposing chicken.
And I yell, "For the Tundraka!"
Detective Easter is like food drunk. I love it.
A little bit, yeah. If no one's noticed, I got a big fill of the meal and I'm all jittery now.
Mr. White, Mrs. Yellow, did you guys roll?
Yeah.
We've scared them into submission.
I am a proper 15.
15.
13 for me.
All right. So again, you just slam them up against the bookcase like they didn't even have time to fully recover yet before you hit them again. Mr. Black is just like absolutely ecstatic. He's like, "This is awesome." He says, "I put 50 gold on Mrs. Yellow and Mr. White." He sort of leans over to Mr. Pink
Certainly
again
can't match that.
and says, "Mr. Pink, you wanna help him out? You wanna help him out? You wanna do a 3-person tower, 3-person chicken? I know you won't get the butler on your shoulder, but maybe you guys can kind of like form a giant robot of some kind."
Oh, Christian, I'm gonna make my Echo and put him on top of
Okay.
on top of Blip to pull up.
All right.
I'm ready for this 3-way here. Only if they honor the 3-way. This is not a dirty fight.
Oh, okay. Not a dirty fight, as you already sneak attacked
Yes.
them once. Okay.
That's fair in a game of chicken, but not extra player unless they have the extra player.
Mr. Pink? No. Okay. All right. Mr. Pink's not having it. So last round. Last round.
I'll dismiss the Echo then. Okay, just straight up again.
All right. So this next one is going to be a perception check and a deception check. So a charisma check for the person on top for deception, and a wisdom check for the person on bottom.
I'm going to rip my costume off, and I will take this victory in my true form and true beauty.
I got a 16
All right.
total.
18.
Damn. I'm not going to beat that one.
What'd you get?
11.
I'll tell it to Tyrell. What'd he get?
6.
6.
Okay, so this time, as you guys run towards each other, you notice that, or Mrs. Yellow, you notice that in Miss Blue's attempt to rip all of her clothes off to intimidate you in this final victory form, that she sort of loosed one of her legs on Tundraka and sort of was imbalanced. And as you guys are going towards each other, Tundraka sort of, compensates for it, and Mr. White comes and hits Tundraka, but just fails completely because he's not a Dragonborn. And you guys sort of fumble and like fight and cat claw and scratch and punch and like bruise each other, and you both push back, and you both remain on top. So it's a tie round. So it's 2-0 still, but there's going to be
Best
another
5
one.
out of 7.
But it's the first of 3. That's the winner. So we go
Okay.
again. We're going to do a survival check for the person on bottom, which is a wisdom. And we're going to do a animal handling for the top people, which is a wisdom roll.
Ooh, I got a 15.
15 for survival wisdom for the bottom.
17.
Oh, good. That was a good roll.
17, yeah. Oh. I also got a 7
Tyrell's had some bad rolls.
I got a 12.
Again, you guys clash into each other and just like mangle and fight and scrap, but you both push away, and it's still even. So again, the next one we're gonna do nature for the top one, an intelligence roll, and we're gonna do a intimidation for the bottom, which is a charisma roll.
Ah, my sturdy steed, I feel the victory coming.
Ooh, I got an 18 total.
18! Bam!
18 for intimidation at the bottom.
I only had a +1, so I rolled a 17.
I have a 0 for intelligence, so
Not surprising.
Not surprised.
18, bitches.
You guys are rolling high.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree. 18.
Dang.
10.
10. All right. Unfortunately, Tendraka just overtime overpowers Mr. White, and Mr. White put up an amazing fight against a Dragonborn, but slips on the spilled beer on the ground, and Mrs. Yellow and Mrs. White fall to the ground and lose the chicken fight match.
For the Tundraka and for the Kuatoa.
Ah! And through the window, you can hear the Kuatoa cheering.
They're just outside.
Yeah, just a tribal, like... I'm gonna go to the window like a champion, put my arms up.
You have to unlock
Like-
the window, but sure, you do that.
No, I just punch it out.
Oh, you
Boom.
punch. He says, "Hey!" Mr. Black says, "That's my property. Cut it out." He says, "I was gonna give you the winnings, but I'm gonna dock that from your pay so you can fix that window."
Not for my pay, though.
No, Tendraka, you get.
How much did I win?
Well, I bet 50 on them, and I bet 5 on you guys, and nobody else put any money in the pot, so it's kind of hard to figure this one out. But I'll give
55 by my math.
I'll give you guys 45. But when I say you guys, I'm just gonna give it to you, Detective Easter, and you can decide what to do with it. Since Miss Blue decided to rip her clothes off and punch my window, and then I'll give the other 5 to Miss Yellow and.
Okay.
Hell, I'll give another 5 to Mr. White. I feel like I put you guys up to it. I'm sorry, but I was great entertainment.
Then I'll hand 42 gold to Madame Blip Dupulip, and I'll keep 43. 1 gold for the.
Whoa!
charge.
Both of you don't get 45. You get 45 to split between the two of you.
All I know is I got.
Well, then I
got
got
22
22.
gold. I have 42 gold.
You
That's
got 22, and I got the.
I have
23.
42 gold. I've already written it down. So
Yeah, you can erase that.
I want to lend a hand out to Miss Yellow, and I definitely am shaking my head like, what in the hell was that? And I want to see if she's all right.
I'm always all right.
Well, that's good. That's a good.
How are you doing?
I just came back to a relatively okay sense of consciousness. I don't even know what just happened.
We were searching for a killer. Is that right? Sorry, I got all cut up. This food got me into a mad rage.
Mr. Black says, "This whole night has been a blur. You guys are awesome. I cannot wait to throw a rager of a party in this."
and we're still sober.
In this place?
Yeah, dude. He
The
says
place of
this
your
whole.
death of your father? There's still a murder scene to understand.
He says, "Do you know how many of my family members have died in this house?"
Okay,
All
here
of
we
them?
go.
That must
I'm
be a
gonna say-
great honor for your family to all die in one area.
Well, they didn't all die in here, but it's a long lineage full of people that died of old age, well past their good years, and just withered into nothing.
I lived my good years once.
Is the surname of your family Finch, perhaps?
No. Why do you ask?
Really specific.
I mean, there's just some material.
First name
that-
Atticus, potentially?
Well, there was an Edith.
Oh.
Well, Mr. Pink or Miss White, is there any rooms that you would like to search? The only thing in here that we're going to find is glory for the Tundraka and the Kuatoa.
You can hear the cheering again with that. I run over to the
Kuatoa? What?
like, yeah.
Why are there Kuatoa in my canties?
You know about Kuatoa?
Yeah. I kind of like snicker a little bit.
Or you must be a seafarer then. Or at least
Yeah, you can
river boat
say that.
captain
Yeah.
of some kind.
Say I like sea breeze.
I once had a friend, a very dear friend, one of the most amazing riverboat captain I've ever seen. His name was Andy Ravage.
Doesn't ring a bell, but sounds pretty savage.
I'll tell you what, if we ever make our way over to Frogspear, I'll introduce you.
Well, I come to think of it, that name does sound familiar. There was a kobold that I talked to. Name was Cole, and he mentioned a Mr. Savage. Zoo Warriors, Madam Libdupulip and Tyrell, you were both invited here. Did you happen to know this Savage?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No Savage.
Well, maybe he's in town. I'll look him up. I know of Cole, his kobold as well. They're old buddies. Go a long way back.
Well, make sure you mention that you know Madam Libdupulip and Tyrell. I believe that they are all very good friends.
Oh, okay. You say you don't know this Cole character though? I can't imagine you've met Andy Ravage and not met Cole.
You mean the other way around?
I've met Cole. I just have not met Savage.
Interesting. They're practically inseparable.
No, Ravage is.
Be sure to bring them up.
I think we need to go check out the lighthouse.
I agree with that statement.
You mean that dilapidated old building?
Go to the lighthouse.
Well, if your father was, checking it out, I think it's probably kind of important.
I mean, we can go look at that moldy old building, but if you haven't noticed, my dad wasn't exactly in the right state of mind, and he kind of shuffles some paper around his feet.
But also...
is there anything peculiar on those papers
yeah.
that he's shuffling?
They're the same sort of scribbles that are on every other thing, just more chicken scratch.
Gotcha.
He's just making a, indication that he might be off his rocker. He says there's plenty of stuff around here I'd like to check out a little bit more, rooms and stuff. But I mean, hell, I'm up for an adventure. You guys have proved entertaining enough. I'll follow you anywhere till I get bored.
Yeah. Hey Butler, where did the deceased spend his most time?
On this floor.
As I said, on this floor across all of the rooms.
I think we just need to go into room by room and do some investigating to gather as many clues as we can.
That
And
sounds like an excellent idea. I would like to find more that may lead us to this Mr. Green.
And do you happen to know the identity of Mr. Green, Butler?
I do not. Dion was very secretive.
Would the identities have been written down anywhere? Perhaps a journal or a ledger?
Perhaps, but I feel that he was very protective of people's privacy. The only information that probably would have contained that would be in the letter that is missing. The same letters that you received from Dion himself.
I think he said it would be great to find.
I would like to know why Mr. Green went missing, or why his letter is not contained in the remaining letters on Dion's person.
I mean, Mr. Green was kind of a bore. I'm not too worried about him.
You knew who this Mr. Green was?
I mean, I met him here. He was green.
Oh,
no one
I apologize. Yeah, I assumed when you said he was that you knew him from a previous life.
I mean, he no one likes anyone who's green all the time. green with envy. Just
Yeah,
never.
I'd say that you're blue, but if you were green, you would die.
I knew that was going.
I thought green was pretty cool, but
Come on. Thank you, Jared. Jared always got my back.
The butler says, "Well, I am very lost, but if we would like to explore the rest of the rooms, I'm more than for it. There is
Well,
the
let me
map
explain
room, there's the sex dungeon, there's the
how
great...
I would die. If I was green, I would surely die.
Yes,
well, if he was talking about succubuses and he has a sex dungeon, but he doesn't ever really leave this place and is
Oh,
not very
good.
social, that's a
Mm.
little interesting.
I find interest, and for no other reason.
To the sex dungeon.
You found this sex dungeon.
If there's one thing I can guarantee, it's I'd like to see Mr. Pink in the sex dungeon.
Here we go. Mr. Pink.
Oh man.
Where'd you go? Whee!
Why is the floor so sticky?
Sorry.
It is a tight little cramped room.
Oh.
Yeah, it is.
And do most manors have a sex dungeon here on the main floor with everything else?
The butler says, "This is the 4th floor, in fact."
The 4th floor. Okay.
Yes, you
But not
climbed
the
a
dungeon.
great number of... Oh, no, this is a sex dungeon in theme, but not in dungeon as in below the castle, no.
And did the steward of the house, did he invite over a guest for this dungeon?
Occasionally, but not for quite some time. Dion had not had a party in this house since the last Eventide of Epoch, over a
what
year
happened
ago. Well, it is Nicanthes Arbitratus family's tradition to host a party, a costume party, on the grounds. Any number of nobility and anyone who else is invited finds their way here per the invitation and has a grand time.
And is the party usually larger and of more, grander than, say, this one?
Grander, maybe the.
Why, yes, the parties are much more extravagant, but they take place on the first day of the Epoch of Eventide, and you are here on the eve.
Oh.
So we need to come.
Yes. Has there ever been a death after one of these parties?
Oh, sir, we take the most careful precautions to ensure that everyone returns home.
Mm-hmm.
Do
Do you have logs? Can we take a look?
There you may see them. There have been a number of accidents, but all unfortunate over-intoxications that led to certain things. Maybe people trying to slide down banisters and falling to their deaths. But never anything of any suspect.
And how does this contraption work? Sorry, Miss Yellow, were you saying something?
Was anyone sexed to death?
I do not believe anyone has been pleasured to death yet, but
I didn't say pleasure.
Yeah.
sexed to death, I'm not sure. Please elaborate.
As in, this room was used in devious ways.
Well, there's many devious pleasures in here, but never has anyone ever perished in this room or suffered internal bleeding because of something that happened in this room.
I'd like to do a investigation check on what toys are there. Definitely D20 on that roll.
Investigation check.
Just
You could do an insight
you
one.
You find a big purple dildo.
wah, wah, wah,
So there's
wah.
a bird, like human-sized bird cage that's in the corner that Mr. Black locked Mr. Pink, or Mr. Pink locked Mr. Black in at one point. There's lots of chains and stuff, links on the ground. There's a big ornate mirror, just candlelight in here. And then the sex bench just full of
Sex bin.
BDSM.
Does it seem like there's any spot in the room that there'd
Can I-
be for peeping toms?
Can I go look in the mirror?
Yeah,
Any
you can
glory holes.
look in the mirror.
Cameron.
There are holes in the table, but there are no holes in the wall. Even the mortar and everything seems pretty airtight. But yes, you
Is there any
look.
clean spot in the room to stand in?
Everything is surprisingly well kept and clean. Like the floor is not actually sticky. It's not dingy and dirty. The butler made a point that it is a dungeon in theme, but not a dungeon that you would typically think. So all of these things are like facades or just meant to look like a dingy dungeon, but in fact is well kept.
Really hold you down.
Yes,
The chains and everything are legit.
Try them out.
There's a
Miss Yellow, could you show us how these things work?
Why me?
Well, I don't think that I would fit in any of these, to be honest. And none of them support a crab arm.
so Miss
Mr.
Blue,
White or Mr. Pink.
Miss Blue in the mirror, you just
There
see
is
yourself. You get an idea that the mirror is there so you can see yourself being pleasured. There is like a fire stoker, like an air bag to the left of the mirror.
Who's looking at the mirror? Me?
Miss Blue was looking at the mirror. I never got to tell Miss Blue what she was looking at. But it's just a fancy mirror. It's in there so you could potentially see yourself.
Is there a fireplace in here that would need a fire stoker?
There's not. There's only candles.
Mm.
Can I press on it? See
Sure.
if anything comes up.
Yeah. You press on it and sort of a smell comes out of the bottom, and you can see that it's been used in some manner or another, but it's a potent smell that comes out of the bottom.
I didn't know.
Like perfume or
No, more like it's been in orifices.
Bro.
oh,
Someone else aroused right now, or
I was in character.
So you are aroused, but not in character.
No, sorry. Mariah looked over at me like I was dying whenever I did the coffee. And I was like, I'm just in character.
now.
I'm a little bit of both now.
So the butler sort of adjusts his suit jacket. He says, "Yes, that was one of Dion's personal favorites.
How do you know?
I assisted.
What?
I assisted. I am the butler, of course."
The butt.
Oh, I thought you said my assisted. That's an interesting way to say I assisted.
No, I assisted, yes.
What exactly did you have to do?
You insert the blow bag into his rectum and then slowly inflate.
I think we're going to need a visual. Mr. Pink.
It
come
doesn't
over
take
here.
much visualization. You would clamp.
I noticed there was a nose goes thing that happened earlier, and I go ahead.
Nose
and
goes.
finger in my nose.
Here's on my nose.
You see Mr. Black nose goes.
Nose goes.
Nose goes.
Mr. Pink, I think you were last. Would you like to lay on the table and I can demonstrate?
No, I would not.
Very well. As I said, it doesn't take much of an imagination. You simply bond the person to the table and then insert the blow bag into his rectum or her rectum or their rectum and inflate.
I'm going to lay down on the table.
I'm just gonna walk to the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna step out of the room.
Mrs. Blue, well, I am very happy to accommodate Dion. You I do not owe anything to.
I'm just laying on this table. I don't know why everybody's getting so like, gee,
Defensive.
quite presumptuous of you, Butler.
Mr. Black sort of scratches his nose and he says, not to like point it out again, but as soon as we start talking about butt stuff, Mrs. Blue gets like really into it again. I just like, is this more of the feces thing that you're into?
Bringing up poop. What is your problem? I'm just laying on this table, naked.
He says, well, I don't really, not really excited to spend any more time in my father's sex dungeon, so if you'll excuse me, I'm going to step out into the hallway.
Well, you'll have to excuse Mrs. Blue. She had a recent violent sexual encounter.
This is your sex dungeon, if I do recall.
He sort of peeks his head back in and he says, I'm going to burn this room to the ground.
I was just gonna say that.
I'll step out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll wait for everyone to leave.
What room are we going to next, guys?
You have the map room you haven't been in, the ballroom, the kitchen, the, what was it? You've been in the perfume room before, but not for investigation, and you haven't been in the visitation room or whatever.
Guys, okay. This is still, all of this is seeming a little weird. Can we do a little huddle, even though I don't know everyone?
Yes, Tyrell, I know you very well.
Very well. So one of the last things said was there's multiple of these said parties, and there was even a mention, very interestingly specific, how now there wasn't any intentional murders per se, or harm, or even death necessarily, and yet there was some heavy incidents and something about blood.
Blood? I never said anything about blood.
Yes, said blood.
I thought he said there was heavy drinking and people would pass out.
That's exactly the
But
parties.
you are allowed to drink here at the home of the Nicentes nobles. So there's nothing the keepers of justice can do about that.
And while Lord Dion was a recluse, he knew the expectation that is set forth by all of the Arbitritus family, and was very proud of throwing the premier party every first day of the Epoch of Eventide.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't realize you were in the circle, but okay.
Well, you called a huddle, Mr. White.
Well, where we go?
Mr. Butler, I can't help but to notice that we have two members of the Zoo Warriors here with us, and we happen to notice that their trial was all paid for. Do you believe that Dion had a hand in that? Was he perhaps their benefactor?
He sort of straightens his jacket again, and he says, I'm not at liberty to say.
But he's
You
dead.
don't know, or you're not at liberty to say?
I don't think that I owe you an explanation.
So are you lying to a peacekeeper?
I'm not lying at all.
I mean, sounded like you were lying. I heard you just say that you didn't.
Refraining from sharing personal information is not lying.
And yet, it's not better than the full truth.
What right do you
Well,
have
this
to
might be
pry
important.
into the personal, and what reason would Dion even have?
We're in an active investigation of a
We need
dead
to understand
person
all
and we should
reasons
know all
because, Mr. Butler, you are under the assumption that somebody here, or perhaps Mr. Green, was responsible for this murder. It seems that some of the Zoo Warriors are here. I have suspicion to believe that our other masked friends, and possibly Mr. Green, may have been a Zoo Warrior as well. So it stands to reckon that if Dion was involved in any way in these Zoo Warriors, we need to get to the bottom of it.
I would like to know more about each of you before I go spilling the beans on my Lord Dion.
Hey, you're in our house.
You keep saying our. You are part of the Zoo Warriors? You are part of the Nicanthes family, apparently? Who are you? They say
there's so
Tyrell,
many-
but you have yet to introduce
two
yourself.
words that are very similar. Our, you know. What?
It's basically
Also, hour, the time of day.
This Mr. Pink and Miss Yellow and Miss Blue, I don't know why any of you are here. I would like more information, just openness. I am willing to share. I want to get to the bottom of Dion's murder, and if that information would lead to the capture of the person who I believe murdered him, then I
Oh.
would be happy to share it.
Who do you believe?
I believe Mr. Green murdered him. I do not think Dion is the suicidal type. He had no reason to kill himself.
Well, I'll tell you, you and I think alike.
Well, if you guys think you know Mr. Green, do you think he's capable of murdering someone?
yes, absolutely. That guy was great.
So you did know
Well-
Mr. Green.
Yeah, I met him.
I have no clue. Well, I might be able to figure out who Mr. Green is only if Miss Yellow and Mr. Pink identify themselves. That might help me understand if, clues as to who Mr. Green might be.
I go ahead and take off my mask. It's like, hey guys, it's Tyrell.
Tyrell!
I pretend to be shocked.
I knew you knew all along. Wow, what a reveal. Continue with the story.
what a great audience, guys.
So
You didn't say it.
Tyrell, he is one of the
Not
the
no
Zoo
stuttering.
Warriors. Are the rest of you? Do you belong to these Zoo Warriors, or
Mm.
formerly known as?
I am not a member of the Zoo Warriors. I am a keeper of justice.
Mrs. Blue has completely exposed herself. Do any of you recognize who this Mrs. Blue is?
That is Madame Blue Pull-Up.
Is this true, Miss Blue?
She was yelling at the Kuatoa earlier. It has to be true.
I mean, I didn't know it needed to be spoken.
Brecken.
Forgot that your character token was a Kuatoa.
Yeah, Mr. Pink will take off his mask.
Oh dear, put it back on.
And who are you?
We gotta find a character model for you.
I know, yeah.
Use that cat or that goat. That was pretty cool.
I think there are some of what you are, but I don't remember. So this, I'm gonna switch Mr. Black. This is Mr. Black. He may change again in the future, but that's what he's gonna be for now. No. Okay. How about this guy? He's got a trident.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
Humanoid, maybe? I thought there were...
Merman?
Yeah, but I don't see any. Undead. You don't think... I don't know, Cameron. What do you want? Who do you want your guy to be?
I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, I want him to be a cool token for you. He's going to be your token
Yeah.
for the...
Nothing super lame.
Maybe
yeah.
kind of.
I probably can't see them as well as you.
What was that on the other page, Christian? Go over to the right.
This way?
To go over it further.
It only goes sideways.
Oh, no, maybe it was under a different one. There's like some sort of like gray character that kind of looked like a fish.
Go
That's what he
down
was.
to your right.
Like this one?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's the
Yeah,
one
that's
he
what I
was, actually. Or the one below is what he
Okay.
was. If that's what the one you want it to be, that's fine, too.
Yeah, I mean, which one? I don't even know which one you're on.
The one that you wear. Or it could be this
Oh,
one.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Mine, I have a shield, so it's
Oh, well, there you go. That's the one. You didn't take off your costume, but you took off your costume.
A Triton. We don't see very many Tritons around. And what is your name?
My name's Murrow, but you guys can call me Stony.
Ah, pleasure, Stony. And how did you end up here?
You know what? I've been traveling a lot for my father, sort of trying to check out the land a little bit, and kind of ended up here. I watched kind of stumbled upon everyone gathered around watching some people get hanged. Didn't really know what you guys were on trial for, and then I got a anonymous letter, so that's why I got here.
Hmm.
Who's your family?
Well, my dad's pretty important. I'm from
Wow.
a place down in the Nazi Sea. It's called Adria. But it's not important. We can get into that later. Just kind of here, kind of checking out the city. Kind of seeing what's going on. There's been some pretty unruly stuff going on.
I've traveled across the Anasi Sea, but I traveled in a skyship, of course.
Of course.
Right.
Well, the very territorial waters, and would rather just stay away from all that mess.
And you said we can call you Stony, is that right?
Yeah, my name's Murrow. My last name's Stonecliffe. It's my family's name. But
Murrow Stonecliffe. Triton of the Sea. Well, pleasure to meet you. I am Detective Easter. I am a Tundraka of the Tundraka clan. And here are the zoo warriors. You can see Tyrell, Madame Blibdupulup. And they're missing Ranger Steve, and they'd recently traveled with a peculiar character, one who called herself Soul, or Sailor Sun, a bit of a split personality disorder, but I don't know if she is here or not with us.
Huzzah! I am Sailor's son.
Oh my god, what a surprise.
Oh my god.
I had no idea.
well, it's pretty obvious you guys all knew each other. Things got super weird. A lot of personal connections, I believe. A lot of these rooms. So.
I
Well,
resent.
Then, if the rest of the zoo warriors are here, then Mr. Green must have been Ranger Steve. Where is Ranger Steve? Tyrell, the two of you are pretty close. Where is Ranger Steve?
He wasn't feeling well before the party. He was, green to the gills.
So you all not only knew this Mr. Green, but you were his companion.
I was more of their court-ordered chaperone.
As their court-ordered chaperone, Detective Easter, I would like to place a formal investigation onto this Ranger Steve.
Well, I shall take down that report. Please fill it out and drop it off on my desk.
Post haste! He runs off to the library to fill that out.
Okay, perfect.
He sort of screams as he walks in the door, and he forgot that Dion is just dead on the bare carpet in there. He runs back out and down the hall to fill it out somewhere else.
Well,
So
Tony, it's very peculiar that the only people here are the zoo warriors, myself, who had been in charge of taking over, and obviously the son of Dion, but I'm not sure why any of us were invited, but
So Nick kind of claps his hands together and rubs them and says, "So we gonna hunt down and kill this Mr. Green guy?"
do you have that sort of authority just to kill somebody on a whim? Are you a sword of justice?
I mean, I'm sure I could pull a few strings, right? You guys take bribes all the time.
I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I do not take a bribe.
Look, you may be all high and mighty now, but you all fall prey to the bribery or the political mess that is those three swords fighting over power to be the next scale of justice. So don't talk to me about that. You know full well how much corruption is in the Keepers of Justice. I have never met a straight arrow of a Keeper of Justice in my entire life. They are all crooked.
And how many Tendraka have you met?
I admit, you're the first. I mean, you gotta admit, the odds are not in your favor of being an actual, honest to God, good Keeper of Justice.
And who defines good?
I mean,
Do you define good? Are you above the law?
look at Sir Barristan, right? The best of all of them, supposedly. You don't think that there's something maybe off about him? Like he's hiding something? He's so, like, happy-go-lucky, cheery, always on the side of good all the time? You don't think he's got some sort of dark secret he's not hiding?
I agree that everyone may keep their own little secrets here and there. But again, you go back to this question of good and evil. What do you classify as good?
It is specific to each and every person. Look, you're missing my point here. I'm just looking for an adventure. I'm just looking for fun. I'm just looking to do something. You know, I got money. I got time. I'm very young. I got a lot to live for. Lots of good times to be had.
Your father, apparently.
Well, he wasted all this. Can you imagine being a recluse in this place?
Why would he be a recluse?
I don't know. I never knew my father.
I just got real quiet.
As I said, I looked over at Blip to pull up.
My eyes got real big and my lip quivered a little bit.
I did while that happened, I just nudged Miss Blue a little bit.
Oh, does Miss Blue have daddy issues too?
Oh. No.
Yeah, well, me neither. I was raised in the same house as my very own father, and I can count on one hand the amount of interactions I had with him.
At least you had interactions.
I don't know how someone could be so broken up about someone.
Are your parents still alive? This group is quite the downers when it comes to the parentals.
Oh, I've heard of the Stonecliffs before. They are very much well alive.
Well, who are they?
Well off, too, if I do say so.
Wow, he just a lot more.
Yeah, I'm the second son in line for the throne, so I've been kind of tossed aside a bit.
Well, we're just full of royalty, aren't we?
Yeah, they kind of sent me out as a bureaucratic monkey to kind of come topside, kind of check out some stuff we've been noticing lately in some of our major port areas.
Prepping for the invasion, I assume.
Sure, yeah.
The invasion?
Yeah. People under the sea attacking land dwellers attacking people under the sea. I mean, it's like story old as time, right? You've never seen those. You've never seen those old plays. Sea people versus land people. It's like I don't know, savages versus knights.
No, the main play that the Tendraka like to watch is there's one where a kid is left home alone while his family forgot him for Christmas, and a couple of strong-armed robbers tried to break into his house, but this kid defeats all of them in hand-to-hand combat.
You know, I actually worked on the production of the second one.
It was not as good.
Oh, wow. Okay. Can't be friends with you anymore.
I didn't realize we were ever friends.
Well, I was considering it until then.
I'm glad you reconsidered.
Should we be, like, planning a party or something? Like, don't you have a family tradition to uphold?
Oh, believe me, the party, that will be fine. The people will show up. It happens every year. I'm not worried about planning the party, okay?
I mean,
Shouldn't we be trying to solve a murder
Oh,
before we
yeah.
plan a party?
I guess we could look around a little bit more. But again, is that going to lead us to go somewhere and like do something more exciting? Because that's what I'm here for.
Well, son, I think
Uh,
excitement right now.
Tyrell, is there a room that you wanted to investigate, or perhaps Sailor Sun, is there a spot that you wanted to look over?
I look over at Sun.
And I look over at Tyrell.
And then
We
I look.
both look over. at
Nick
Mr.
says, looks like no.
Hey.
Let's go investigate one of the rooms we have not already been in.
Fine.
I'd say let's
Where
go
is
check
that
out
butler?
map.
The butler was supposed to talk to us about his involvement with possibly hiring.
He ran off to
Legal
fill out
counsel.
that investigative form you handed him.
It shouldn't take that long. Let's go to where he might have been.
Sure. As you start to head that way, he comes back with the note.
Okay, good.
Oh, I figured he'd be dead.
Nope.
I will. I'll take the note from him if he's handing it.
Thank you, detective.
Now about involvement with hiring legal counsel. Is our deceased patron of the house, is he the benefactor of the Zoo Warriors? Now that you know the identities of all that are here?
Well, I know the identities of everyone who's here, but perhaps he hired Warren White to help you in your debacle.
Why?
And why?
I do not know or pretend to understand the workings of a great mind like Dion's, but perhaps he saw something in you, or knew something about you, and wished to spare you an unfortunate death at the hands of the Keepers of Justice. The Nicanthes, Arbitritus family, has never necessarily been known to agree wholeheartedly with the justice that has been brought to this city by the Keepers, but has accepted them into the fold well enough. So yes, to answer your question, Dion did ask me to hire Warren White to assist in any way, shape, or form that you find your freedom from these accusations.
And was it you that hired the Yonti?
Why, no. The Yonti. I don't do dealings with those snake people. You scoff at me calling them snake people?
Well,
I assure you there's nothing redeemable about them. Monsters. Hideous monsters.
I agree,
You
they
speak the
may be
language?
hideous monsters, but did you perhaps hire them to try to get the Zoo Warriors off?
Absolutely
trial
not. Never.
Hmm.
I was only instructed to hire Warren White to come to your aid. We did nothing else. I trust that the information that we hired Warren White will remain between us.
And I put away my PDA in my pocket.
Yeah.
Nick sort of says, I don't even know who this Warren White is, so your secret's safe with me.
Yes, your secret's safe here, but was it you also that paid for our costumes?
Well, yes, of course. He obviously invited you to this dinner party. It only made sense naturally. He did not know if you had funds. He did take quite an interest in you.
And can you shed any more light or perhaps lead us to a room where we might find a journal or a log of why he did such a thing for the zoo warriors?
There is the map room we may find answers in.
Do you have any idea why he was obsessed about the succubus? I mean, you were his best friend. Y'all were obviously close. You played with his bunghole.
Lord Dion and I were very open, but he had his secrets, and I never asked or pried unless he told me first. Now, he is...
Very specific word to use.
I got cut off.
He takes a great interest in this city. As you would know, the city's name is Nicanthes. Do you not think that Nicanthes Arbitritis family may take an interest in its city's well-being? If a succubus is running loose on the city, do you not think that he would investigate to find out more?
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to call this succubus and have a conversation with it.
Oh, just call the succubus. Yes, let me pull the pamphlet and call the hotline of succubi. How do you proceed or suggest we find this succubi?
I have a song.
You have a song?
Yep.
I mean, I have pretty specific instructions. I thought it was a known thing of how to call
Instructions to summon a succubus?
Yeah, if he can summon it, I can destroy it.
Well, by all means, let's do that here and now. The ballroom has plenty of room.
I think, we might want to do some group, we might want to get a game plan before we all just...
Very well, we are in a group. Let's discuss.
So, the first issue is going to be the large sum of money that it takes. Is there anyone willing?
That is no trouble. The zoo warriors are quite rich.
Oh, good. I don't have to offer any of my coin.
The zoo warriors are fresh out of gold. We're talking some big coin here.
Well, how much does it require? What does the spell say? What is the ingredient list?
Believe it's 3,000.
Oh, what? It would take even me time to get 3,000 gold pieces together.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think we need to...
Can there not be a more paltry sum? It requires 3,000 gold pieces?
I believe...
I could hire someone to go track down and capture a succubus for that.
Well, yeah, any succubus isn't going to solve our problem. Where the fuck did I write that down at?
Where did you get this spell from? It sounds like a farce. Would you like to investigate the map room while you look for your spell?
Probably be smart.
All right. So you guys make it into the map room, and you see that it is a map of Morningstar, not unlike one in a book that you had long ago.
What?
This one is a little bit more up to date. It has sort of notes and scribbles on it that are the left side of Morningstar. And there's a couple notes that are legible and not the chicken scratch from the other room that are just keeping tabs on the zoo warrior's whereabouts.
What?
So the most recent one is you can tell that he, which is surprising, is that he had some sort of contact in Edgewood, and he knows that there are Kuatoa in Edgewood. So these updates came pretty fresh, pretty frequent. You see back in Giant's Bones that it's been pretty much vacated, that there's no one there. You see even like a little mini statue representation of the Blibdu Pulip statue that's been erected in Frogspear. But through all of his notes and everything, there's nothing as to why he's keeping track of these things, but just that he is keeping track of these things.
Is there anything in here that would look like it has anything to do with like a Raven Queen?
No, there's nothing on the map that would look like it has to do with a Raven Queen. The most mysterious thing on the map is obviously Lambros Forest, but also Ember Peak itself. It is, you know, a large dominating sort of mountain in the center, and he sort of marked it with like paper in place of fire, just red like paper mache paper, showing that the Ember Peak is ablaze as it always has been.
So Dion seems to know quite a bit about Morningstar. Did he have frequent messengers or spies?
so.
that
Yeah,
could
you can
move
see
around
that he
You should
has
ask your mom tomorrow.
information coming from the Twin Spires City, the Ashlands, Dragon Scar, a number of places on the east side of Morningstar as well. So he's got like dotted lines showing shipping routes and things like coming from across the Anasi Sea. There's like great pictures of dragon turtles in the sea that have been illustrated. Just, you know, a little, probably one of the most detailed and up-to-date maps that exists in Morningstar, easily. I mean, it takes an entire table.
And so the markings are just showing the movements of the Zoo Warriors. But are there any other markings that looks like he was checking movements?
Yeah.
Well, he said the entire east side of the map. So
Yeah, most of them are trade routes and things, but there is another group of individuals called the Strangers that he was keeping track of. They are sort of around the Dragon Scar area. And they've come from the Ashland, but they seem to be maybe headed towards the Twin Spire City at the moment.
Gotcha.
So to call the succubus, we need a ring of flowers, 1,000 gold, blood of a willing participant.
Whoa.
Blood
Yes.
magic. I suppose it makes sense. To summon a succubus, you would need such vile things.
Wine, bread, in a room, and the succubus will come the night after.
And I suppose this gold and bread and wine disappears.
I've never done this, so I don't know.
well, if we're gonna summon this, I think we should do it in the cage in the sex dungeon.
Yep.
I'm not sure there's room in the sex dungeon. As I said, there's plenty of room in the ballroom if you'd like to
How
do
big is
this.
the succubus? Have you seen the succubus before?
I'm saying for a
Well-
magical circle of items of that nature, you would probably want a wide open space.
I don't know.
And
it
if we
seems
do
like
the
we're gonna be
ballroom-
doing seems like we're gonna be doing some pretty sweaty work. I think the sex dungeon is the only place to be.
Wouldn't you want to interrogate the succubus in the sex dungeon instead of capture it?
Well, if we do it in the ballroom, we'll have to blitz her pretty quick.
We didn't take it to the sex dungeon.
Tyrell, what makes you say that you can kill it?
I have a song.
I'm
You're gonna-
supposed to believe one of you has a spell to summon a succubus and the other has a song to kill it.
I know.
Well, not to murder, but to send it back to its dimension. Yes.
Can you
That's
share
not-
this song with us?
I cannot
Is there a reason why?
because it's very difficult.
Mm.
But I will happily engage in song to send the succubus to its otherworldly dimension.
Have any of you ever heard this
And-
man sing?
No.
I was about to ask for a performance.
I don't really think that sending it to another dimension helps us.
Well, if things go awry.
Tyrell, could you perhaps sing a song about the ballroom blitz that we will have to perform on this succubus?
So Nick says, hold up. Just making sure I got this straight. You guys want to make a summoning circle out of blood, gold, wine, bread, and flowers the night before there's a big party in this manor so that it shows up on the night of the party?
No.
We
We
just
need-
had a giant chicken fight. We're down for anything.
Okay, because if that's what the plan is, I am voting hell yes.
I mean, I say nay. Well, we should party, and then after party with the succubus.
After party with the succubus? So you're saying after we throw the party and enjoy ourselves, get a little buzz going, get feeling good, then the succubus shows up, and then the after party starts.
I mean, it is a succubus.
Can
so-
I market this to the people coming to the party that there will be a succubus here?
No.
Why?
Because there's many of people
I
here.
bet a lot of people would like that, actually.
Yeah.
There's
Aren't
many.
the degenerates of the town trying to get involved with the succubus?
Think about it. There's a problem with the succubus, right? Lots of nobles trying to get a hold of the succubus, right? Well, if I say we're going to have one, that's going to attract a lot of unsavory characters that you can interrogate.
Yeah, but we need.
I'm thinking you got an ulterior motive with this succubus. Do you want this succubus for yourself? Is that what this is about?
I just think that the succubus needs to be taken care of.
Or maybe there's a certain bounty out on the succubus or something? I mean, is there something I'm missing here? Nobody? Anybody? How long you guys been in this city? You know nothing? What's up?
Well, what do you know? Is there a bounty out on the?
That's what I'm
succubus?
asking you guys. You're acting awful suspicious. You want to catch this succubus all for yourself. You don't want to get any more investigative.
I believe that Madame Blibdupulip's the only interest in the succubus has to do with the lady in the tower. I believe he is interested in Queen Lillian.
Oh, so Queenie Lampranthus, unpleasurable queen. You're saying that she's got a bounty out on this succubus.
I believe that Blibdupulipir is trying to win the queen's favor.
See, that's what I'm talking about. I knew there was something. So you're thinking you get this succubus, you bring it to Miss Lampranthus, Queenie, and she's just gonna say, I'll marry you?
Possibly.
And you're looking to get married to this Lampranthus lady for what reason?
Power.
She's quite pretty.
Oh, so you've seen her.
Well, yeah, in my dreams.
Oh, okay. Say no more. This plan sounds flawless. I don't see why we shouldn't move forward with it.
So do you have 1,000 gold we can borrow?
Sure. For this farce? Hell yeah. As I said, I'm just looking for kicks.
Was it 1,000 or was it 2,000 gold?
I heard 1,000.
We start with 1,000. If that doesn't work, we can go to 2.
You mean to tell me that Mr. Pure of Heart Detective Easter is trying to up the price suddenly on something? I think I had
trying to make sure we have enough gold.
I think I had you pegged right there, Mr. Detective Easter.
And exactly how was that pegged?
Not a bad apple in the bunch, right? You're the golden apple of that orchard.
I don't claim to be a golden apple. I just don't claim to be a bad person.
Ah, very well, but I'm thinking your apple has a worm in it. I'm glad I got Mrs. Blue with that one. Only thing that usually gets her going is shit jokes, so.
Oh man.
That's usually the type of humor she likes. That must have been the type of joke that you made.
Don't get me wrong, I'm, this is me. This is my personality. I'm gonna jab and jest with the best of you, but I'm gonna call you out on your stuff. But let's do this.
And
you want to go to the ballroom? I'll throw down gold. Let's summon this succubus.
No, I don't.
And how does this help us figure out why your father died, or who killed him?
You're the ones leading this investigation. You found a book about a succubus that was pointed at the Lampranthus house, and suddenly you're like, "Oh, let's get a succubus in here. That's who killed his father. It can charm people." I don't know.
I mean, like, we should still gather all the information. Maybe go to the lighthouse, come back, go to the party, get a game plan.
So let me get this straight, though. No succubus at the party or succubus at the party? Because I'm going to tell people there's going to be a succubus regardless.
We'd have to summon it now for it to be at the party.
No succubus at the party.
All right. Well, it sounds like Miss God over here is speaking for all of you.
I'm certainly not summoning a succubus.
All right, fine. No
succubus. Sailor Son, Tyrell, do you plan on summoning a succubus, or perhaps Stony?
I know not of how to summon thy succubus.
I'd never even heard of one until tonight.
I don't know why you guys care so much about finding out information about Dion in the first place.
I was hoping that the information would help us understand why he died.
He hung himself. Pretty clear.
Well, fuck, who can't have a party then?
I fully plan to.
The butler seemed to think that was not all of the story, and has us running around the house for no good reason.
The same butler that kept me and my father separated in the very same house. Yeah, this guy. Can't wait to get rid of him.
It was the butler's fault that you were separated, not your father?
Oh, it was my father's demands, don't get me wrong, but it takes a special kind of person to go through with such a cruel thing.
Butler, what do you have to say for yourself?
I have always been true to Lord Dion's word. I do not understand or pretend to know the reason why he was so hard on young Nick, but I knew in the end it was in his best interests, and I believe that he died a death that he had not yet planned, that there were great things he had in store for you, Nick, once you found yourself and came back to him. Nick sort of just shakes his head and waves his hand in the air like, yeah, whatever.
Can we just do or can I do a quick investigation of the map room to see if there's anything else that looks like it'd be something of interest?
Sure. Give me a roll.
Alrighty. Nat 20.
Damn. All right.
Yeah.
So, the notes on the strangers on the east side of Morningstar. You notice that there are little X's, like red X's in these cities, and next to these X's are names of people written in red as well. Like these strangers, this group of people, are hitmen of some kind or executing very specific people in each one of these cities. And as I said before, they're headed to Twin Spire City. And you know, based on everything else that he's keeping track of on these maps, that he's only keeping track of things he's either interested in or he has his hands in directly, like the shipments and things coming from across the Anasi Sea and going to and like the other direction too. So to and from and across the Anasi Sea. So you don't know if he's hired these people or but they're definitely eliminating very specific members of these cities. It doesn't look like there's as much havoc wreaked on like these cities, like Giant's Bones and everything. Like you can tell that those locations and like the town, like the skeleton's been collapsed and now it's just a floodplain, and the town of Chode has been erased off the map. And like the 1/3 of
pretty serious.
Yeah, and the 1/3 of Frogspear has been razed and is being reconstructed. There's an orphanage that's been built in Edgewood.
Well, okay.
But yes, that's everything that you would find in this room. The paintings are just innocuous. Nothing of interest really left in this room.
Sailor Sun, what is your take on all this?
I agree with everyone and no one at the same time.
And how about you, Stoney? What is your take, being an outsider?
I mean, I was brought here for reasons I don't understand. You guys seem to have done quite a bit of work throughout the western portion of Morningstar. He took an interest to you guys. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing yet. You guys seem like a pretty wild group. It's interesting enough that he died in his own house. His son doesn't know what happened to him. Didn't really know him that well. In this map, obviously we can tell that Dion had his fingers across the entirety of Morningstar. The succubus is interesting. Don't know what that had to do with Dion in general. It could have been his downfall. Could have been a possible weapon for him to use within the city. And it went astray. So I don't know. I think we might have uncovered everything within the house. But the lighthouse seems to be another beacon that we could check out.
Sure.
Let us venture to the lighthouse and cast
To
light
the lighthouse
on
it
this
is.
mystery.
Detective Easter, before you guys leave this room, I did forget to mention one thing. The little token pieces that he uses to represent the shipments coming and going across the Anasi Sea are coconuts.
Very interesting.
Why is that interesting?
Coconuts. I wonder if this has anything to do with the illegal narcotics trade.
The coconut.
Will we find more in the sex room?
Excuse me?
Nothing.
What did you just say there, Madam Blibdupulip? Did you say that you put a lime in the coconut?
Nick says, and yeah, I think after that he said, and he drinks it all up. Detective Easter, I think you have a drug user in your midst.
How well did you know Billy Banger, Madam Blibdupulip? You traveled with him for a while. Did the either of you discuss narcotics use?
I'm really confused.
Shit, did you say Billy Banger? Like the Billy Banger?
He was born in our side, yes.
I've never had the pleasure of meeting Billy Banger personally, but I've heard some stories.
What exactly have you heard of Billy Banger?
Well, I mean, he's just a short little stack of pancakes with a fiery attitude and a lot of spunk.
And what god did you hear that he served? I heard he was very interested in the gods above.
The only god I know is that Blib does pull-ups lady.
That's right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Very devout follower.
But yes, you said that you put the lime in the coconut and you drink it all up. Very interesting, because with the shipments of drugs coming into my counties, the blue crystal mushroom, there were some who would douse it with lime, and they called it sometimes. They called it, they either called it the blue magic, the magic shroom, or they would call it coconut. Those were the street names of it as well. But they would douse it with lime before ingesting.
Huh.
So we'll say that you guys are having this conversation as we go to the lighthouse. So feel free to continue your conversation as I make our way through.
Making our way downtown, going fast, looking.
No, hauling ass because it's cold out.
Hauling ass because it's cold out.
It's some homeless person singing on the side of the road.
Now I want.
Sorry, I made all these trails, so I'm going to make you walk them because it took time.
They're very beautiful.
Oh, yeah, look at this beach leading up to the lighthouse. Oh, my gosh. Oh, so
Freaking love the
fancy.
beach.
Yeah, look at this, such ugly sand. Like, this is not good sand, though. This is like, it's like a...
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I hate sand. It's rough and coarse and it gets it.
In between your toes.
But as you guys are making your
Some,
way
some sand people?
downtown on the beach, you guys come to a little point.
Are we 6 feet from the edge?
Yes, and you're thinking,
Can we hear Tyrell sing a song about being six gnomes from the edge?
6 gnomes from the edge.
Gnomes from the edge.
I have heard Tyrell's pretty good at karaoke. Well, there may be a karaoke bar at some point.
We might have to find
What is it?
6 feet from. I'm sorry, I'm 6 gnomes from the edge. That's a
Where
song
did the half
of a new task.
elf? Here it is. Sorry, I have yet to make him a special character. Okay, so Nick's with you guys. You guys made your way all the way down the beach, not finding really anything of interest, but the water's diluted. The black sludge of the Nycanthes canals is a little bit lesser on the beach front here, but you can
Ranger
see
Steve's back.
Ranger. Oh yeah, Ranger Steve is back.
Oh, Ranger Steve.
He's back!
Oh.
Uh,
Oh, brief second there. I thought I saw Mr.
Mystery
Green.
solved.
Good catch. But yes,
God,
before
you look like a cyborg.
he's technically a Warforged, but I'll have to wait until the I think there's an underwater update coming to Tailspire, and there should be mer people soon. So
Very cool.
but yes, before you make it to the lighthouse, you notice a fisherman's shack, and outside of this fisherman's shack, there is a blue light hanging from the sort of dock out there. You can see it. And
Hanging from the edge and I'm singing.
and
The six dwarfs is so far down.
there is someone on the dock fishing by the lamp. You could see that they just went out and lit the lamp, in fact. But there's like a spotty sort of where the maybe ocean wasn't quite as high at one point, but has now risen. Like there used to be a bridge across a number of rocks that sort of stone stepped out to this lighthouse, and through the fog, you can't really see where they lead, but you assume that is your path to the lighthouse. So it's up to you how you want to proceed here. Well, you can't, so it's beyond this house, right? So, out by the dock, you'll have to go either in between the dock and the house or all the way around the house to the right to get to this spot where the stuff is. And there's
I'm
someone
gonna go.
fishing
I guess
out.
try to go through the woods. That path that I can see right there.
Okay. The rest of you guys want to do the same?
So I
Jump in the
can't
water.
I can't just swim around.
You can if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go on the water.
Prayer time with the Kuatoa.
So 2 of you jump in the water.
Blub, blub, blub.
So do you guys kind of look at each other when you get down there, like, oh, you're a aquatic creature too? No, nothing. Just a nod. No, nothing. Okay.
I mean, he knows who I am. I shouldn't, if anything.
No, I literally don't know who you are. So
Absolutely,
you
absolutely,
look at
absolutely impossible.
Please have that conversation.
my butt. Hey, you remind me of Buddy Fred. He was a giant lobster.
Oh, I thought he was an orange.
Nope. Okay. So Detective Easter's going through the woods. You guys are in the water. Nick sort of says, "Should I go talk to that guy? I'll distract him, maybe." That sound like a plan? You guys seem like you're both the decision makers in this group, so.
Yeah.
Cold.
What would you like to do, Mr. Nick?
I kind of want to go talk to that fisherman guy, right? Like, he's got to know something about this lighthouse.
Your speech is a little slurred, but I agree.
Sorry, I was celebrating.
Yeah.
But yeah, if that.
Just walk around the lighthouse and look around it.
Well, you gotta. There's a ways to the lighthouse before you get there. I mean, I gotta get past this whole shack thing, and then there's like rough waters. It's a ways out there if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're cool with me going to talk to that guy, I'm gonna do that. Sweet. All right.
Your company. Oh.
Yeah, come along.
Did he just fly?
He looks as if he's floating. He's on cloud 9 right now. His father's dead. He's on an adventure. He's got, alcohol in his system. He's ready to roll.
All right.
All right, so Soul, what are you doing? Are you joining Detective Easter in the woods? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Okay.
Easter's still thinking about the meal that's probably going to last him a week that he just ate.
This is getting interesting.
The Tundrak are a bit like wild animals. We don't eat, the square 3 meals a day. You just eat whenever there's food.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when the next meal is, and you just eat.
That's good.
But you live in a city.
We're poor people.
I was gonna say he's not well off. Let's see. I have a token for this person.
I mean, maybe if you took a career path.
I'm sorry, was someone talking shit from under the deep?
Deep is like, 10 feet, very deep, I guess. That's kind of.
Kobe hit 30 and just decided he should retire.
But we'll catch up with them first. So Nick and Tyrell sort of approach. Nick very friendly waves and says, "Hey, what's up? What's going on? What's going on out here?" And the person sort of slowly gets up and picks the fishing rod out of the water. And person approaches and says, "Well, hello. I don't get many visitors out here." Is there something I can assist you with?
I'm gonna give him a nudge.
He's nuts.
Me? You want me to talk to him? Well, I'm kind of like intoxicated a little bit. And I figured you'd do the talking.
Okay, so actually, as I realize that's what's going on, I go ahead and put my arm, kind of in front of him as I push him back, but nicely, not trying to be mean.
Whoa, hey, careful. I
Greetings.
don't know how to swim. Yes, greetings. What is your name, traveler?
I didn't realize we were on a first name basis already.
I like to know people before we discuss.
You may call me Tyrell.
It's nice to meet you, Tyrell. My name's Darcy.
And what Where'd you get your name from?
I was given it by my parents.
Are they doing well?
They're long past. They've gone to
Oh.
the plane beyond.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
It's my 160th birthday today.
Wow, you look really good for that many years.
Thank you. A drow of yourself, of elven descent, should understand just how long we live.
Yeah.
I myself am a half-elf.
Hmm. So what brings you to this place?
I'm but a humble fisherman. I used to be an adventurer like you, but then I took a fishing hook to the knee.
He's just a regular NPC. You guys can move on.
quite the hook.
And then my heart was shattered. What
Very
brings you
sad.
out this way?
Yes. Hello.
Are you headed to the lighthouse? That's the only thing beyond my humble abode, aside from the Lambros Forest, and only insane people go in there. I could tell you a thing or two about that lighthouse.
Oh, the lighthouse. Yes. Yeah. I don't want to hear any more about the forest, but lighthouse, please. I'll indulge.
When I was still a young half-elf, I'd fallen in love with a beautiful drow. Quinn. Quinn was her name. Quinn had caught the attention of a reclusive wizard named Jace, who made the lighthouse his home. The wizard kept the lighthouse running in exchange for his privacy. Quinn and I had been friends for a long time, but she had been friends with this wizard long before we ever met. I could tell this wizard had unhealthy affections for Quinn, but Quinn couldn't see it. I couldn't tell if Quinn was drawn to him over his macabre interests, or if he filled the void of a father she never knew.
Father.
Yes, she never knew her father. And this Jace character was, I guess you could say, a surrogate father. They were a great...
Stepfather?
Potentially. They were too far apart in age, though. I personally never saw romance, at least from Quinn's side. Jace may have been a different story. But I couldn't tell if Quinn was... I don't know. We started seeing each other at a higher frequency when we started dating, and that meant less time she spent with Jace, and I could tell Jace was jealous. I made attempts to be friendly with Jace, but he never gave me the time of day. He never even allowed anyone but Quinn anywhere near the lighthouse. To put concerns at my rest, Quinn told me that she would always hang a lantern containing a blue flame from the highest window in the old lighthouse. That way I would know she was safe, and I could rest easy and that she would be home. I found it best to keep my distance from that lighthouse, and I promised her I would. I never asked questions out of respect for Quinn, and Quinn never talked about what went on the inside of the tower. But she'd occasionally come home excited about the progress they were making. Quinn obviously cared about the work they were doing, but promised me that once they had finished their work, we could set sail for new lands and leave Nicantes behind.
Why does this sound like you're reading out of a book?
Because I wrote this. I did this.
I was just saying, yeah, I don't want to interrupt that joke. Like, this is too well written. I'm listening. I don't want to.
During the epoch of Eventide, their relationship changed dramatically. Quinn would come home from the verge of tears and vent about how Jace had crossed the line. I could tell Quinn didn't want to give up on their project, but was finding it more and more difficult to return to the lighthouse each night. One night, roughly 2 weeks before the end of the Eventide of Epoch, Quinn didn't return home. Looking for reassurance, I peered to the top window of the lighthouse where there was no blue flame. The lantern had been extinguished. Fearing the worst, I gathered a group of villagers and explained the situation. I convinced them to go with me to the lighthouse and assist in the safe return of Quinn. After crossing the perilous bridges and reaching the base of the lighthouse, we called for Jace to send Quinn to us. There was no response. Even over the sound of the crashing waves, we could hear and see the movement of the figures passing candlelight in the tower. The villagers, in their impatience, broke down the door and forced their way inside. The lower level was a typical living space, but the true horrors await us on the higher floors. Every manner of jars containing organs from countless creatures. Tables where humanoid cadavers were cut open and clearly in the process of being dismembered. My fear and confusion rose the higher we went. The third floor was when the citizens went from a rescue party to a mob. There on the third floor were cages filled with creatures that appeared to be amalgamations of the parts of the floor before. The inhuman screams and moans from these creatures was unbearable anguish. In the citizens' rage at finding the fourth floor barricaded shut, they began to set fire to the lighthouse. I beat at them and tried to douse the flames, but it was too late. The mob restrained me and physically removed me from the lighthouse. Once outside, as they still struggled to restrain me, I noticed a small pale blue flame among the rising inferno. In that instant of recognition, lightning tore from the sky and struck the lighthouse. The deafening boom gave everyone pause as their attention was drawn back to the tower. Over the roar of the fire and the crashing of the waves came the sound of scratching and shrill cries. Soon, pouring through every hole in the tower, came a tide of rats. So many that the small island in the tower's foundation appeared as if it was alive. The mob burned the rope bridges as the seemingly endless waves of rats spilled into the ocean. I returned my gaze to the top window, hoping to see the pale blue flame once more. All that remained was a wake of destruction that my rescue has incurred. I still hang this blue lantern every night on my dock, at hopes of seeing that blue light return to the lighthouse. If you're going there, please do me this honor and hang this blue light in the lighthouse so I can move on with my life.
I do wipe a single tear from my cheek, and I gladly oblige.
She says, merely an NPC, you say?
What's going on?
That may have been me that said that. I heard the fish hook in the knee, and I was like, oh, nope, this is somebody you don't need to talk to. And then I thought you were reading out of Moby Dick here, so.
I'm honored.
I am touched, and I am glad that you are potentially ready to move on. Yet I have a couple of questions.
Of course.
One being, you mentioned one Eventide night, one of these magical yearly nights. Do you remember about how long ago this was that you last had the blue flame hanging from the window and the terrible events that occurred?
This was roughly 140 years ago.
And when you were in this one, I don't mean to trigger, but when you were in the area of the jars of organs, did you ever perchance come across a nipple belt?
No, I think I would have remembered something such as that, but no nipple belts were.
Okay, they are quite rare.
I've never revisited the tower. People say there's still great evil there.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this was the last 2 weeks of the epoch of Eventide. These were in the dark days before we had lightning in a bottle to power our city. The city was already in madness at that point.
Very sorry to hear. My last question would be, do you have any suggestions on how to best reach this lighthouse?
With the water being so high, It is rather difficult and treacherous, even with the most skilled of watercrafts. The rope bridges have been burned. There is no perceivable way to transport. If you had some way to fly above the water, or very skilled water ability people, that may be of benefit to you. But there is a lower portion on the main island where the lighthouse is stored. It's on the back side. You can access it easily from there. It's a small alcove that then leads into a cave and out onto the surface of the island. That's your best chance.
With that being the easiest, is there any heavy security force?
The only security is the ocean itself. There are rather large fish, as she points behind and over her shoulder, with a nasty bite. So please, if you do take it the path into the water, be careful.
Very well. I thank you for your stories, and I wish you the best. And please look out for as this lantern will be hung.
Thank you for listening to an old crone's story. You will bring much solace.
I bow, and then I turn around to look at Nick, and give him the eyes that we've got what we need, and we should move on.
Nick is asleep against the post.
Not surprised. I grab him by the ear and I tell him,
Zazah! What? God, is she done yet?
we are ready. Let's go.
All right, thank God.
Just boring. I'm not here to read a bunch of stuff. I'm here to fight.
Yeah. Nick's not here for that stuff.
I didn't pay $60 for this game.
Selected to lead, not to read. All right, so you guys making your way through the forest. How do you want to proceed? You kind of could see that interaction go down between them on the dock there.
Oh my God, she's talking forever. Yes, you're right. No more words are needed. Let's just continue on.
All right, Detective Easter, how are you continuing? Where are you going? You just want to sneak your way around the house?
Yep.
All right, no problems there. You're able to make it around the house.
Try to rendezvous up with Tyrell.
We're so sneaky.
All right, you guys sort of peek out from beside the shack. And you sort of like wave at him, like, is it okay to come out?
Are we being sneaky enough?
Nick says, no, you're not.
Yeah, the cover's blown. Tyrell, did you learn anything from your conversation with that wench?
Yeah, I want to pop out of the water.
All right. Oh, I'm going to have to actually get you because you're a special character.
Oh, God. They're just lost way down there.
I knew where he was.
Wait, hold on. Did you guys have a good conversation in the water?
And we were racing.
No conversation, only speed.
Here, just
I won.
as you... Oh, wait.
I just want to put my elbows up on the dock and look
Sure,
up at him.
sure. There you go. Just like the Little Mermaid. All right.
That's how every man wants to be described.
Merman, maybe.
You guys know the tale of the Little Mermaid?
This must be the dock of exposition. But Tyrell, did you learn anything?
Oh, I have an audience. Hello. What are we, 12 gnomes from the lady behind?
I'm gonna go find a post and fall asleep.
She's back already fishing. She's on the far side of the dock.
That's about 30. That's fine.
Can I just go? Can I go tug on her fishing line?
Sure. So you tug on it.
That was enough.
You tug on it, and you see her like the thing pull. You
Scare the shit out of her.
the first one you were careful not
Does the hook
to.
catch?
No. The first one he was careful not to get the hook caught. He might have to make a roll for the continuing agitation of the line.
I just shake my head and I go ahead and announce to my audience here. Yes, we'll spare you the grave details. It is quite an arduous journey of
I'll come
multiple
back.
lifetimes of most people. But there is a way to this lighthouse. Who's interested?
That would be
What are you saying, Tug?
Okay, not all at once.
Well, that's what we're here for. So how are we gonna get there?
Well, there's 3 options. Can anyone fly?
Yes.
yes.
Oh.
Is
Well, if you would like to fly, you can simply fly above the water and land on the lighthouse, I guess.
Huzzah!
Okay, the second option, any water ability humanoid or creature, I suppose, with very strong water traversing abilities, who's currently fucking with the lady, so that's
I want to do finger guns at him, like.
they may simply swim ashore. And lastly, for the rest of us normies, we'll have to run around the backside of the island in order to reach a small alcove. the
That's
entrance in a cave.
all. That's all the information you have on that, huh?
Well, I mean, we need to get to a lighthouse.
Well, let's not waste any time.
wait, if we fly there, didn't you say it's old and decrepit? If we fly to the top of it, won't we possibly all on it?
Are likely risks.
Is there no?
Alright.
Is it not? Is it like submerged in the water? Is it on like a?
No.
An
So the like think of like columns. Like you can only see a couple of the like stone columns that the rope bridges existed in between. Some of them are higher than others, and some are lower. Some are completely submerged by the like ocean now. Like the ocean level has risen, so the rope bridges have been burned. The columns are sort of in between, so you could potentially swim to each column and kind of get a breather and a break and make it to the next one if you didn't have great swimming abilities. Or you could obviously fly to each one of the ones that are above the water, but the tower itself is shrouded in fog, so you can only see about 4 of the spires where the rope bridge used to go across so far. Like the lighthouse doesn't work. There's no lights in it, so you can't see through the fog. It's inoperable and dilapidated.
Well, I say we take the Northwest
Oh,
Passage.
because it wasn't my voice, but all that came through my mouth.
I vote the Northwest Passage around the island.
Taking the hobbits to Isengard.
You know your directions quite well there.
Yes.
So you guys gonna take
Any
the
other
long way around?
I mean, there's lots of ways onto the island. It's however you guys want to do it. Like, there are some of you that have the ability to fly. There are some of you that obviously can swim, but those of you that don't, I'm more interested in what you're going to do.
Oh.
And this...
I'm gonna travel with Tyrell at the very least because he's not skilled in any of that. So I'm gonna go with him, and we shall take the Northwest Passage.
He does have a magic rope, though.
Then we shall use it, and if I need to fly along the way, I will fly.
Fly like an eagle.
Okay. Well, this is something we can attack next time. Your assault on the lighthouse. We're about 5 minutes earlier, but I'm not finished with the lighthouse anyways.
Alt is a strong word. We're merely.
I will arrest them if they assault this lighthouse. So.
We're not trying to go back to
a big trial all over.
Hey,
again.
look, it's already destroyed. But like, what's there to mess up, right?
We will use salt though to ward against evil demons.
I'm gonna be honest. this letter here for Ranger Steven might just find its way in the ocean. I don't have time for another trial. I'm sorry. It'll be on the back burner.
That's all good. He trusted you to turn it in so you could just continue that live, and Nick doesn't care one way or the other, so. But all right.
Well, that was a good session.
New group, new motivation, new adventures ahead, new characters.
Yeah.
What is our motivation?
To
Sex dungeon.
find more information that might be in a lighthouse leading to a succubus, I think is.
we kind of have conflicting goals, and we just go with it.
Well, that's usually the best.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that has not changed from our MO from the very beginning.
No, there's definitely
Left unturned.
yes. There's definitely a strong underlying story that is somehow connected to all these things, but it's, you guys gotta figure it out, and yeah. But now you've got
We'll work on that.
two people murdered. The Epoch of Eventide has started, and one of them
it sounds
maybe
like
isn't
one
a
of them
murderer.
Yeah, we don't know. Let's figure it out.
But it's looking rough. Only 2 days into this, and people be dying.
Technically, we're on the eve, so it hasn't started.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
So those crime statistics are not going to count for that.
True.
Those people, they died of whatever coughing disease was out there. I'm sure of it. So
The creep.
yeah, we'll mark it down as another creep death.
There's subject 0 and 0.1.
Yes.
All right. Well, if that's it, everybody say your farewells to the stream. We'll call it a night.
Farewell to the stream.
Good morrow.
Fare thee well.